My name is Edith Knight, and I'm from Cheyenne River Reservation. I've been married I was married for 49 years. My husband passed away in 1996, and I am a rancher, and I have 8 children, 1 boy we lost, and I'm a grandmother and a great-grandmother. And I taught for 41 years in elementary education, and later on I taught Lakota language at Dupree, South Dakota for 3 years. And I retired 3 years ago.
The winter storm here was pretty harsh this year. How do you compare it to previous storms?
I think 1966 of March was one of the worst storms we ever had. And we lost a lot of cattle and horses in that storm. So I think it was a long winter like this one. And but this one here, I believe, I don't know, I don't remember whether we were without electricity in that year, but we did have a lot of snow and we couldn't get out of our ranch. Couldn't even ride horses out because the snow was so deep. It just piled one on top of the other, and on a nice day it would melt, and there would be a crust on top of that snow, and then on top of that there would be fresh snow, and so there might be about 3 layers of snow that I remember where the horses couldn't, they would fall through and just stumble and fight to get out, so there was no use of even riding a horse, you know.
So this storm, the 1966 storm was worse than this storm, or was this storm worse?
Well, you know, in that, I think back then we used kerosene lamps, and we burned wood. So I think that this was the worst one because we were without electricity so long, and that I didn't have wood to burn. So we had to use the top of the range stove in the kitchen to heat the kitchen and the living room. And for water, I melted snow. I'm an old timer, so I know what to do. And we.
How did the storm affect you as a rancher?
Well, we couldn't get out of the place. We were snowed in for about 3 or 4 days, and they came and opened, the snowplow came and opened us up. Not the snowplow, I think it was Morris Randall had a blade, and he opened us up. And our road wasn't really that bad. Some people had it worse than us. But it was the heat and being without water that was really bad.
How did your livestock fare?
Pretty good. We, I don't think we lost anything. But it was bad getting out of there to feed them. But we had a tractor, and that helped.
How, if you could talk to the Obama administration, the United States government, what request, if you could make a request with them, what request would you have to help better prepare the reservation if a storm like this ever happened again? Or what could they have done differently to help the reservation?
Well, I think it kind of made it hard because of the tragedy that happened at that southern island at the
Haiti?
Yeah, Haiti. all the other disasters that happened, it seemed like it all fell in one month, you know, and, but I would say that we just really needed a lot of help, and there was a lot of people that came in and helped the reservation, I think, but being as there's other disasters, it made it a lot harder to get to us as fast as they should have.
Do you feel that as a Lakota person, do you feel that the United States government should have responded to their own backyard first before another country?
Well, being as that happened first, you know, that was a priority, but they should take care of their own, you know. And the United States usually goes to different countries to help them out. It seems like more times than they do for the United States.
If you could say, if you could address the entire world, and whatever you're going to say would be done, basically like a wish list, what would you request, or what would you say to the world?
That's really a hard question. I'm not a political person.
It don't have to be political, it could be, I mean, what do you think could be done to make this reservation to help it?
I think Congress is, you know, in a turmoil right now because they're not working together. They should be working together to make things work. And Obama is working too fast, I think, you know, trying to get everything done. With the money part of it is a big problem.
Well, basically, logistically, there's no way we can bring everyone to the reservation to make them understand what life is like here. So, what would you like the rest of the world to know about this place and your people?
I feel that the Lakota people, as a whole, the whole United States, different tribes in the United States are left out. Helping them out and seeing that education is a lot better for the children, and involve them in things of the world, you know, because there's a lot of kids that don't even know where this place in Germany or wherever, they don't use the maps. They need to use maps to let them know how big the world is.
As a teacher, if you had unlimited resources and you could do something to improve the overall educational system, what would you do?
I would involve them, like I said, make them see how big the world is and how you can get there and stuff like that, and to express themselves more, to have programs where they can make, you know, speeches, or get them to talk in front of a group where they can express their thoughts and whatnot.
Well, I think one thing I'm wondering is, what does the educational system here need resource-wise to better be able to do that? Or to be able to provide a better education? If you were a principal and someone wrote you a blank check, you know, where do you think that money would go?
Computers, and mostly they have computers, and I'm really surprised that even little 3-year-olds get on a computer and do things, you know, and me as an old timer, I don't get on the computers much. All I used them for was the grading system and the enrollments and whatnot, you know.
What subject did you teach?
I taught all grades I started in Head Start, and I got my education late. I had 1 year of college when I got out of high school, and then I got married, so that had to go to the wayside. But later on, through President, I can't even think of his name, JFK, when he came in, he introduced the programs, like the Head Start program, the community action programs, and I can't remember what the other one is. They brought in people that work for, they sent them Vista workers, they called them, and they worked with the communities. And in that time, while I was teaching the Head Start program, they paid for our education to become teachers, and you couldn't. If you took the courses, then you could continue teaching, but if you didn't, then you didn't get hired. So then I took advantage of that, and I became a teacher. And then later on, I got a master's in education, and so I taught. After I taught Head Start, I taught the kindergarten, and from there I went up and I taught at Cherry Creek. I had 3 grades, 4th, 5th, and 6th grades, 28 students. I really got initiated into the program.
Now those 28 students, was that all in one class?
Yes, one classroom. It was hard. I needed I requested an aide because it was just too much.
So you had 3 grades in one class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that was difficult because
It was a challenge, I'm telling you.
So how was it to set up different worksheets, knowing that you had 3 different levels of grades?
Oh, I had it really hard at first until I thought, when it took me a while to think about what I had to think about the levels that they were in, and each individual where they were, and I worked from there. And then when I got the aide, I had her help me with it, mostly the discipline. And that wasn't all. The the 2nd grade teacher was having a difficult time with one student. He would jump from one desk to another and stuff like that, and she would scream at him. You don't scream at students, you just make it worse, So the principal asked me if I would take that student. Never had any trouble with him at all.
How many years did you teach like that?
Oh, 7 years.
7 years, wow.
And then I had a 6th grade teacher. They hired her new, and that one of my students, the 5th grade student that I had, didn't want to go into that classroom. He just refused, to go, and he would hang back. I couldn't drag him out the door. So he stayed in my room that year. That was always one of the things that I remembered about him. And after he went through school and everything, he would always come up to me and talk to me. So I had I was a mother, see, so I knew how to treat them kids. Most of them were they wanted to stay in the community and didn't want to go anywhere else. So we had field trips, and we took them out and took them to Rapid City and different places to introduce them to the other world, you know. And I taught a French girl that didn't know a word of English, and that was a big challenge because I had to get a book, a French book, French dictionary, and the way I did that, she had a cousin that went to school there, and she knew English, so she would translate. And by the end of the year, though, she was talking English and writing. Just took 1 year. So that was and the other kids, you know, knew that there were other languages because of her. Otherwise, you know, there was just their world, and that was it.
How do you think the prosperity of the people can make the transition into the 21st century, but still obtain our language, our true identity as Lakota people? You
know, I see it as really changing. They like their culture. They hang on to it, and I think that's really good. And you know, the government tried to send a lot of people. What did they call that? Now they send them to Chicago and different places to.
The IRA Act, the Indian Relocation Act.
Relocation Act. That's what. Okay. So they went out to get educated in different things like the work, their different kinds of work that they did, and the schools that they went to, but most of them came back. They didn't like the city life. I never did like the city life. I went to New York, I traveled to Europe, and the place I liked best was Sweden. And I was in Estonia, and the Estonians didn't like the Russians. I learned that. And then I brought back a man, the Estonian man. He was really tall, and he wanted to work for me. So he came over and worked for me. He was a young man, about 28 years old, really tall and skinny. All the people in Europe and the ones I like in Estonia, they were all skinny people. No, you didn't find a fat person at all.
All right, man, that's excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to share real quick with a minute or so?
I got to travel a lot, you know. I went to Alaska, and that was after my husband died, though. My sister and I went to Alaska, and one of my sons was in wrestling here in Eagle Butte, and there was some boys that moved up there, and I got to visit with them. So that was a good experience. Got to go ride it in a ship.
All right, well, thank you.